people got that nationalist idea in their head, and then Obama was just the worst for every Republican ever, even though he helped the country in a bunch of ways for sure. And now we're in this point where the facts do not matter because the media just completely negated every argument. And I love the idea that no one debated this eclipse today.
Oh, because we're a culture, I feel like, as long as it looks like the thing, it doesn't need to be the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as I say I believe in these things, and I say I, love these things, and I hold these ideals up, it doesn't matter if I don't.
Yeah, fake news, alternative facts, as soon as they came into being, I was like, wow, George Orwell just fucking nailed it, man. Like, holy shit, we're actually doing this. This is what's happening. Yeah, this is what's happening right now. Yeah, as soon as I saw the White House release, like, real news or whatever the hell it is, that's literally like a North Korea propaganda video. Like, I mean, it's just like, Wait, you asked me before, one of the opening questions, like, best quality about myself. Taking responsibility for my actions is something I always try to do. If I fuck up, I say I'm sorry, and there's no, like, ego about that. There's no, like, well, you did this, and then I did, it's like, oh, I messed up, my bad, and that's something that, wow, so many adults in the world today. I mean, in a big context, people are finally, a lot are coming out of the woodwork now and saying, like, shit, I voted for Trump and that was a bad call on my end. I just saw I saw an article, maybe, did you share it? I don't think that, but someone did, whatever. But someone shared it this morning, basically saying, like, yeah, I voted for Trump because of this, and now I'm realizing that I made a tough call, I made a bad call, and we should all try to admit that if we did the same, so that we can continue this discussion in an adult way, because
we need each other right now.
Right.
More than ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But that's the thing that's so interesting also with the way that the media got so focused on these rallies and everything that happened in the past couple of weeks, because no one's talking about Russia anymore, like, that just got swept under pretty effectively, and now we're all fighting each other. Literally, that was like a bloodbath in the streets kind of thing, where people are stabbing their flags like spears at each other. I mean, it's like
driving cars into you.
Yes, and literally plowing cars. And then I have friends who are defending that person, saying that he must have been scared because they had baseball bats. It's like he was in his car. White people are very afraid of being outnumbered in the world, but that's like kind of an inevitability with how genetic mixing just happens. I mean, like, white people are not going to be the majority for much longer, big speaking, and like that sort of change, that sort of, shift is scary for people.
And we're taught this in school. What is white privilege? Have we heard this conspiracy theory, white privilege? Now, this is a concept that was brought to us by Jewish intellectuals.
People lack the self-awareness to go, okay, that will never affect me, but it affects so many other people in this country. Why is that? And just that little question of like, well, why doesn't that affect me?
What other race of people is told that simply standing up for ourselves, being pro ourselves, is hate, is evil, is something that you're not allowed to do? What other race simply saying we want to stand up for ourselves inspires this kind of reaction?
This week it's Robert E. Lee. I noticed that Stonewall Jackson's coming down. I wonder, is it George Washington next week, and is it Thomas Jefferson the week after? You really do have to ask yourself, where does it stop?
People who are against Black Lives Matter will say, well, white people have it rough too. And it's like, again, no one's debating that white people have it rough. It's just that they're not literally being murdered by police officers on a statistical rate, and then police officers face zero consequence.
Tonight, a family outraged after a Minnesota jury acquitted the officer who fatally shot Philando Castile moments before this infamous video was live streamed on Facebook by his girlfriend.
I can't relate to the African American experience directly. How I relate it, though, is having grown up in a very oppressive kind of home life where I wasn't allowed to expand. I had to constantly shrink and eat what I was fed and do as I was told and not ask any questions and just kind of shut up and like it. And I think that must be what that sort of feels like. Not even having the opportunity to think about expanding.
Yeah.
That doesn't even play into your mind. It's just about survival.
It's okay, I'm right here too.
People see that admitting personal responsibility as a weakness now. as like if you are at fault, then you're bad. But like it's that's not how that works. It's like if you're at fault, okay, that happened. You admit at that, now you're good. You know, like it's such an easy thing to flip. You know, but yeah.